Welcome. Today's class is an introductory class into Vinyasa Yoga. One of the elements of most Vinyasa classes is the Sun Salutations, or Surya Namaskar A and Surya Namaskar B. In today's class, we will focus a lot on looking at the elements of both these Sun Salutations that tend to be a little bit more complicated and breaking them down into more understandable parts and then putting it back together. We will need 2 blocks for this class, so have those close by, and we'll start in Child's Pose. So come to hands and knees. Big toes touch, knees slightly wider than hip distance apart. Keep your head lifted in line with your spine. As you start to push your hands into the floor, reach your hips towards the back of your mat, towards your heels. Before we lower down, pull your heels of your hands towards your knees to create a little bit more length in the spine. And then allow your belly to release towards your thighs. Start to walk your hands forward as you slowly lower the head to the floor. And if a block underneath your forehead is more comfortable, please take that prop option. Once you come into Child's Pose, start to deepen your breath. And with each exhalation, draw your navel or your belly off your thighs. With each inhalation, allow the breath to fill the back and side ribs, expanding the lungs beneath. On your next inhalation, lift back up to hands and knees. Align the wrist creases with the front edge of your mat. Spread your finger wide, feeling your knuckles press down into the floor. So all 10 knuckles pressing into the floor. Shift so that your shoulders are above your wrist. And press your hands down into the floor. At the same time, isometrically twist your hands apart. So keeping the hands placed on the floor as if you were twisting the hands apart. Walk the knees back slightly, and so they're behind your hips. Tuck your toes under. And press your hips up and back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, open your mouth and forcefully breathe out. Again, inhale deeply. Exhale, open your mouth, forcefully breathe out. And one more time. This time as you exhale, open your mouth halfway through, close your mouth, feeling the slight tone at the back of your throat. And as you inhale again, keep that tone. So creating Ujjayi breath. On your next exhalation, start to bend your knees slightly and walk your hands to the back of your mat. Coming into a forward fold, feet about hip distance apart, knees bent. Grab your opposite elbow with your hands, bending your knees as deep as is comfortable. And again, keeping that slight tone at the back of your throat. And take 3 more deep breaths. Each time you exhale, feeling that tension at the back of your throat. And as you inhale, keeping that. Exhaling, peeling belly off your thighs. Release your hands back to the floor. Press down into your fingertips to lift halfway up. Knees still slightly bent. And walk back to the front of your mat into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Spread the hands wide. Press down into the root knuckles of all 10 fingers and isometrically twist your hands apart. Lower down onto your knees. Point the toes back. And slowly walk the hands forward as you lower your hips, your belly, and your chest to the floor. Bring the forehead down to the floor. Big toes touch. Inner thighs drawing towards each other. Lift up onto your elbows. Elbows directly underneath your shoulders. Spread your fingers wide. Press your hands into the floor. Start to draw your elbows towards your hips as you reach your chest between your arms. Lift your head, look forward. Each exhalation, peeling the belly button off the floor. Soften the throat. And draw the shoulder blades down your back. Lower the forehead to the floor. Bring the hands underneath your shoulders. Press back up to hands and knees. Exhale, lowering your hips back towards your heels, moving back into Balasana, Child's Pose. Forehead to rest on the floor or a block. Each exhalation drawing the navel up towards the spine, peeling the belly off your thighs. And slowly shift forward back to tabletop. Grab a block. Bring the knees together and separate the heels about hip distance apart. And take a block and place the block either at the lowest level or the second level between your heels. And sit your hips back onto the block, coming into Virasana, Hero's Pose. Hands on your thighs. Draw the elbows underneath your shoulders. Close your eyes. And start to bring awareness to your breath. Wherever you are, exhaling your breath out. Inhaling deeply, filling all the way up from the belly to the chest. Open mouth, exhale, halfway down, close your mouth. Keep the tone at the back of your throat. And inhale for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue this equal parts breath, Samavriti, with Ujjayi, the tone at the back of the throat, for a few more rounds. Keeping the eyes closed, bring the hands, the fingertips to the hip points, the bones at the front of your hips. And as you exhale, feel the muscles beneath the fingers inside the hip points, drawing in towards the midline of the body. As you inhale, feel the belly expand back out into the fingertips. And this time, exhale out through your mouth forcefully and feel if you can feel the tension of the belly underneath your fingers drawing more in towards the midline, creating the sense of Uddiyana Bandha or the lower abdominal lock. Once you have a sense, return your hands to your thighs. And continue to keep the awareness on creating Uddiyana Bandha, or engagement of the lower abdominal area. And shift your awareness to the base of the pelvic floor. So where you feel your sit bones connect to the block that you're sitting on. And as you exhale, imagine your sit bones drawing in towards the midline. In addition, bring the tailbone and the front of the pubic bone towards each other as you exhale. So sit bones are drawing in, tailbone, pubic bone drawing in on each exhalation, creating the sense of Mula Bandha, or the root lock. Release the Ujjayi breath. Release the sense of the bandhas. And slowly blink your eyes open. So one of the asanas that is in the Surya Namaskar, or the Sun Salutations, is Chaturanga Dandasana. And this is an asana that oftentimes we rush through. It's somewhat complicated to keep everything engaged, to keep it nice and stable as we lower towards the floor. The root chakra and the Uddiyana, or the root lock, and the abdominal lock, or Mula Bandha and Uddiyana Bandha, will help to stabilize the core in order to lower down. The other aspect is the shoulders, and this is something we're going to work on today. When we look at the shoulders, we often think of the joint and how this joint moves. Another part of the shoulder joint is the scapula and how it moves on the back, or the shoulder blade. So we're going to play with this a little bit so we are prepared when we get to Chaturanga. So the movements, the joint movements of the shoulder blade. The first is elevation, and this is lifting the shoulder blades up towards the ears. So lift the shoulder blades up towards the ears. And the other side of this is depression, so drawing the shoulder blades down the back, the points of the shoulder blades drawing towards the tops of the hips. So inhale, lift or elevate the shoulders. Exhale, lower or depress the shoulders. And at the same time, keep the lower ribs down and in, lift the shoulders. And exhale, depress. And the second combo is protraction and retraction. So for this, take a block and bring the block between your first fingers and your thumbs supporting the block underneath. Spread your fingers wide and press the first finger into the outer edges of the block. Position the shoulders somewhere between protraction and depression. And as you inhale, press your hands towards the front of the room. Feel the outer shoulder blades wrap around the outer rib cage. So this is protraction. Retraction is drawing the shoulder blades towards the spine, feeling the shoulders kind of lock back into the sockets. So moving between protraction and retraction. Inhale, press the hands, the block, the shoulders wrap on the outside of the rib cage. Retraction, drawing shoulder blades towards the spine. Inhale, press forward. Exhale, retract. One more time, inhale. Protract. Keep the slight sense of protraction. The next aspect of Chaturanga Dandasana is bending the elbows into 90 degrees. And as you do, there's a slight depression of the shoulder blades. So inhale, straighten the elbows, press the block forward, spread the fingers, keep protraction in the shoulder blades. Keep that sense of protraction as you exhale, bend the elbows to 90 degrees beside the body. And you can look to make sure 90 degrees is in the elbows. Inhale, press forward. Keep the sense of protraction. Bring elbows beside the body, drawing the shoulder blades down slightly. One more time. Inhale, press forward. And exhale, bend the elbows to 90 degrees. Release the block to one side of the mat. Bring the other block to the other side of the mat and come back into tabletop position. Align the wrist creases with the front edge of your mat. Spread your fingers wide and press down into the floor, feeling all 10 knuckles connect to the earth. Press down and isometrically twist the hands apart. Create that sense of protraction, so push the floor away. The shoulder blades wrap on the outer sides of the rib cage, and you feel as if the spine is lifting up towards the sky. So protraction. Let's just move between protraction and retraction in this position with a stable core. So draw the hip points in towards each other, and then draw them up towards the rib cage a little bit. And then draw the bottom of the rib cage in towards each other and towards the hip point. So keep that stabilization of the core. Sometimes tucking the toes under can help. And as you inhale, protract the shoulders, so push hands down, wrap shoulder blades on the outer rib cage. And then as you exhale, keeping the spine stable, draw the shoulder blades towards the spine into retraction. Inhale, press down. Wrap shoulder blades on the outside of the rib cage, protraction. Exhale, spine stays stable, shoulder blades move towards the spine. One more time, inhale, protract. And exhale, retract. Push down to protract. Keep the protraction in the shoulders, so nice stabilization. Twist the hands out. Tuck the toes under and hover the knees off the floor about 1 inch to 3 inches. Keep pushing down, protracting shoulders, and depress the shoulder blades down the back a little bit. Keep the stabilization of the lower core. And as you inhale, step your right foot back. Exhale, come back to the hover. Inhale, left leg back. Exhale, hover. Inhale, right. Hover. Exhale, left. So you feel very little movement in the spine, in the shoulders. So keeping everything nice and strong as we alternate taking one leg back and then the other. Bring both toes back to the floor. Push the hands into the floor, press the hips up and back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Keeping that sense of strength and stability in the core. Exhale, lifting lower belly off the tops of the thighs, drawing towards your spine. Continuing to press hands into the floor and twist out. Lower down onto your knees. Come up onto your fingertips. And step your right foot up between your hands. Tuck the left toe under, lift the knee, and step the left foot up between the hands, coming into Uttanasana or forward fold. Bring both of your blocks to the floor, shoulder width apart, and bring the palms of your hands to the floor. Bend your knees, resting your belly on the thighs, send the hips towards the back of the mat. As you inhale, press down, lifting your shoulders to hip height and draw your navel off the tops of your thighs. Exhale, bend your elbows, fold forward, allowing your head to fall between the blocks. Bring your fingertips into your hip creases. Shoulders drawing down your back. Start to lift your head slightly. Inhale, lift all the way up to Tadasana. Feet about hip distance apart. Outer edges of your feet parallel. Press all 4 points of your feet into the floor. Lift your shoulders above your hips, hands beside your hips. Rotate the palms of your hands away from your thighs. Inhale, reach your arms up and over your head, bringing your biceps beside your ears. Lower ribs drawing down and in, hip points drawing up towards your ribs, so creating the sense of Uddiyana Bandha. Exhale, lower the palms beside your hips, coming back into Tadasana. Inhale, reach arms up and over your head, biceps beside your ears. Reach to the outer edges of your shoulder blade. Exhale, release the hands beside your hips, Tadasana. Inhale, reach arms up and over your head, Urdhva Hastasana. Lift a little higher in the outer armpits, straightening your elbows. Bring the palms of your hands to touch, Urdhva Namaskar. Continuing to keep the lower ribs drawing down and in. On your next inhalation, look up towards your hands, Urdhva Namaskar. Exhale, lower hands beside your hips, Tadasana. So we're moving bit by bit through Surya Namaskar A, adding on an element each time. Inhale, reach your arms up, palms touch, look up, Urdhva Namaskar. Bend your knees slightly, hinge from your hips, bringing your palms to the tops of the blocks. Lower the head towards the floor, Uttanasana, forward fold. Press your palms into the floor, look forward, lift your head and chest, work towards straightening your knees, Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Exhale, bend your knees. Release back to Uttanasana, forward fold. Fingertips into the hip creases, reach head, chest forward. Inhale, lift up, reach up, palms touch. Look up, Urdhva Namaskar. Exhale, palms beside the hips, Tadasana. Inhale, reach up, stretch up, look up, Urdhva Namaskar. Hinge from your hips, fold forward, hands to the blocks. Allow the head to release towards the floor. Inhale, reach head, chest forward, lift halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, hinge forward, release the head towards the floor, Uttanasana. Inhale, reach up, stretch up, palms touch, look up, Urdhva Namaskar. Exhale, hands release beside the hips, Tadasana. One more time. Inhale, reach up, stretch up, look up, palms touch. Exhale, hinge from your hips, palms to the blocks. Fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, lift head, chest. Exhale, fold back, Uttanasana. Bring the hands to the floor behind the blocks to your mat, bending the knees as needed. Step your feet all the way to the back of the mat. Feet hip distance apart, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Press hands into the floor, isometrically twist hands apart. Lift way up onto your toes. Firm the front of your thighs as you press them towards the back of your thighs. Lift and spread your sit bones. Keep the sense of length in your spine as you lower the heels towards the ground. Each exhalation, drawing navel towards the spine, lifting hip points towards your ribs and ribs towards your hip points. Nice deep Ujjayi breath. Come down onto your knees. Come up onto your fingertips. Step your left foot up between your hands. Come onto your right toes. Lift your right knee off the floor. Bring your hands to the block. Step your right foot up between at the front of your mat. Uttanasana. Press hands into the block. Lift head, chest. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale. Fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, reach up, stretch up, look up. Palms touch, Urdhva Namaskar. Exhale, release your hands beside your hips, Tadasana. One more time in that way. Inhale, reach up, stretch up, Urdhva Namaskar. Exhale, hinge from your hips, fold forward, hands to the blocks, Uttanasana. Inhale, press hands down, lift head, chest, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, release back, Uttanasana. Hands to the floor behind the blocks. Step your left foot, right foot to the back of the mat. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Press hands down, twist. Exhale, belly towards the spine. Breathe. Come down onto your knees. Come up onto your fingertips. Step your right foot up between your hands. Shift your hands to the blocks. Tuck the left toe under, lift the knees, step the left foot up to the front of your mat. Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, hinge forward. Uttanasana. Inhale, reach up, stretch up, look up, Urdhva Namaskar. Exhale, Tadasana. So going to the next level. Inhale, reach up, stretch up, look up, Urdhva Namaskar. Exhale, hinge from your hips, hands to the blocks, Uttanasana, head falls. Inhale, lift, extend, head, chest forward. Exhale, fold. Bring the hands to the floor behind the blocks. Step to the back of the mat, coming into plank pose. Shoulders above your wrist. Press your hands down and isometrically twist your hands apart. Protract your shoulders and depress the shoulder blades down your back slightly, feeling the stabilization in the shoulders, and drawing navel towards spine and lifting pelvic floor to find the lower body strong. Exhale, press back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And breathe. Feel the strength of the legs. Pressing hands down, twisting, feel the strength of the shoulders. Peeling belly off the thighs. Hip points drawing down towards ribs. Inhale, come up onto your toes, look forward. Perhaps coming down onto knees, otherwise come up onto your right fingertips and step your right foot up between your hands. Lift your hands to the blocks. Step your left foot to the front of your mat, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, extend head, chest forward. Exhale, hinge from your hips, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, reach up, stretch up, palms touch, look up, Urdhva Namaskar. Exhale, hands beside your hips, Tadasana. Bring the hands out in front of your shoulders. So flex the shoulders, wrist in line with your shoulders. Spread your fingers wide. Protract your shoulders. So glide the shoulder blades on the outer ribs. Knit your lower ribs down and in towards your pubic bone. Hip points drawing in towards the navel and lifting slightly up. Keep the shoulders slightly protracted. And as you exhale, bend your elbows to 90 degrees beside your ribs. Exhale, push forward. Inhale, bend. Exhale, push forward. Inhale, bend. Continue this, noticing that the shoulder blades are staying rooted in protraction and slight depression. Forearms are coming parallel to the floor. Elbows coming beside the rib cage. Lower ribs, lower belly, staying nice and strong. Release. Inhale, reach up, stretch up, Urdhva Namaskar. Exhale, hinge from your hips, fold forward, hands to the block, Uttanasana. Press hands into the block, inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Hands to the floor. Step to the back of the mat into plank pose. Push your hands into the floor, isometrically twist hands apart. Uddiyana Bandha, Mula Bandha. Protraction, depression of the shoulders, lower down to the knees. Bring the blocks to medium height onto your mat. Shoulders above your wrist and wrist shoulder width apart. Knees are slightly behind your hips. So we're moving into working more with Chaturanga Dandasana. So stabilize the core, drawing the hips, points in and up, lower ribs in and down. Protract the shoulders and slightly depress. Keep all the things going on. As you exhale, make sure elbows or shoulders are above wrist, and then bend elbows to 90 degrees. Exhale, push up. Inhale, down. Exhale, push up. Inhale, down. Notice the shoulders. Are the shoulder blades staying protracted and depressed? Notice the core. Sit back into child's pose, keeping your hands on the blocks. Allow the forehead to fall towards the floor and breathe. If you were able to maintain the shoulder stability and the core stability while doing the 5 push-ups, we can progress to the next level. If you found that challenging, continue to maintain that same place and do 5 more push-ups there. If you were able to do that, progress. Bring your knees back more so that your knee and your hip and your shoulder are all in one line. Shoulders start above your wrist. Protract, depress the shoulders. Uddiyana Mula Bandha. Inhale, bend elbows to 90 degrees. Exhale, push back up. Inhale, down. Exhale, push up. 3 more. Maintaining shoulder stability, core stability, head in line with the spine. 1 more. And sit back into child's pose. Another option, if this is difficult, you can take your torso higher by, instead of using blocks, bring the hands onto the seat of a chair and use that in order to build up strength. So we're trying to build up shoulder strength, core strength, stability in order to make our chaturangas strong, stable, safe. Come back up. If you were able to maintain that at the height of the blocks and feel very strong and stable in your core and your shoulders, you can progress to the next level. Otherwise, stay where you feel strong and continue to work there. To progress, bring the blocks down to the lowest level. Hips, knees, and shoulders all in one line. Start with shoulders directly above your wrist. Press hands into the blocks, so protract. Isometrically twist the hands apart. Slight depression of the shoulder blades down the back. Inhale. Exhale, push up. Inhale. Exhale, push the blocks away. 3 more. Maintaining spinal length, the natural curves of the spine. Core stability. Shoulders in slight protraction and depression. And then sit back. So in order to get stronger, we have to work at it. If Chaturanga is difficult and we continue to just move through Chaturanga without much thought or awareness, Chaturanga never gets stronger. When we break it down into the simple elements and work with where our weaknesses are, we're able to build strength and progress. Last set, no blocks, or continuing where you feel you still need to work. Hands beneath the shoulders, wrists beneath the shoulders. All 10 knuckles press into the floor, fingers spread. Press the hands into the floor, isometrically twist. Protract the shoulders, slight depression. Lower belly drawing in. Lower ribs down and in. Inhale, bend elbows to 90 degrees. Exhale, push the floor away. Inhale, exhale. 3 more. As you bend the elbows, continue to press the hands into the floor and twist out. And notice how this feels. Last one. Sit back into child's pose. And breathe. And shift forward to tabletop. And lower your hips, your belly, forehead to the floor. Bring your big toes to touch. Inner heels, inner thighs. Bring the heels of the hands in line with the bottom of the rib cage. Press the palms down just to lift the shoulders a little higher, depressing shoulder blades down the back. As you exhale, lift your lower belly off the floor. As you inhale, lift your head and your chest off the floor. Lift the hands off the floor. Exhale, straighten your elbows back and turn your fingers towards the underside of your wrist. Inhale, reverse that action. Bring the arms all the way through. Straighten the arms out in front of your head. Palms pushing forward. Exhale. Sweep the hands close to the floor. Lift the fingers towards the fronts of your wrist. And then inhale, lift up a little higher. Bring hands beside the waist and push hands forward. Lower the forehead. Lower the head. Lower the arms on either side. Turn your head to the right. And breathe. Bring your forehead back to the floor. Heels of the hands in line with the bottom of your rib cage. Elbows lifting up. Shoulders rolling down your back to lift your shoulders towards elbow height. Press the front of the feet into the floor, pubic bone into the floor. Exhale, peel lower belly off the floor. Inhale, lift up Bhujangasana, Cobra Pose. Press hands down, twist out, and pull back as you lift your chest forward. Press the hands into the floor. Lift the fronts of the thighs off the floor. Coming into Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. Exhale. Press back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Lower the knees to the floor. Take a block. Place the block towards the front of your mat. And bring your hands on either side of your block. Press palms down, isometrically twist apart. Shoulders above your wrist, protract, depress the shoulders. Step your feet back into plank pose. Tone the lower belly. Stability in the shoulders. Inhale, shift forward in, bringing shoulders forward of the wrist. As you exhale, bend elbows back, lowering down Chaturanga. Turn the fronts of the feet to the floor. Inhale, press up. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, press back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Lift up onto your toes, look forward. Come onto your right fingertips. Step right foot up. Step left foot up. Take both blocks to the front edge of your mat. Hands to the blocks. Lift halfway up. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift head, chest, look up, reach up. Urdhva Namaskar. Tadasana. Putting all of the elements together for Surya Namaskar A. Feet can be up to hip distance apart or big toes touch, heels slightly separated. Start in Tadasana. Inhale, reach up, stretch up, palms touch, Urdhva Namaskar, look up. Exhale, hinge from your hips, fold forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Press hands into the block, lift up halfway. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, hands to the floor, step to the back of the mat, plank pose. Press down, twist out, protract. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower down, Chaturanga. Fronts of the feet. Inhale, Urdhva Namaskar. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, press hips up and back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. Inhale fully. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, come up onto your toes, look forward. Come up onto your left fingertip, step the left foot up, right foot up, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up, stretch up, palms touch, look up, Urdhva Namaskar. Exhale, Tadasana. One more. Inhale, reach up, stretch up, Urdhva Namaskar. Exhale, hinge forward, Uttanasana, hands to the blocks. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Hands to the floor behind the block, step to the back of the mat, plank pose, pause for a breath. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower down, Chaturanga. Inhale, scoop through, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, press hips up and back, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Press hands down, twist. Lift belly off the thighs. Strong legs. Inhale, come up onto your toes, look forward. Come onto the right fingertips, step right foot up, left foot up, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, hinge forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, reach up, stretch up, Urdhva Namaskar, palms touch. Exhale, Tadasana. So Surya Namaskar A, we've put all the pieces together. We've broken it down, we've taken it apart, we've put it back together. Surya Namaskar A, a lot of the elements are the same. And we'll look at those that are different. So have your blocks towards the front of your mat. I'm going to start with one block. Place the block between your thighs as high up as you can. And that flat side pressing between the thighs. And walk your feet as close together as you can. Continue to have the outer edges of your feet parallel. And squeeze the inner thighs into the block. Hip points are drawing in and up, ribs drawing down and in. Reach your hips towards the back of your mat. And bring the fingertips as close to the floor as you can behind your heels. Your belly will rest on the floor. Continue to squeeze your block between your thighs and reach your biceps up beside your ears into Utkatasana chair pose. Peel your belly off your thighs. Continue to keep the lower ribs drawing down and in as you lift your arms higher. Exhale, straighten your legs, hands beside your body, Tadasana. Inhale, sit back, Utkatasana, squeeze the block. Exhale, straighten the legs, hands beside the hips. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, this time hinge forward, Uttanasana. Grab the opposite elbow, hang and breathe. Release the hands. Release the block. Bring the blocks to the front of your mat on either side of your feet at the medium height. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up, sit back, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, straighten your legs, Tadasana. So continuing to add on. Inhale, reach up, sit back, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, hinge from your hips, fold forward, Uttanasana, hands to your blocks. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Keep your hands on the blocks and step to the back of your mat into downward facing dog. So our hands are slightly elevated. Continuing to press hands into the blocks and have that sense of kind of twisting them apart to keep it strong. Come up onto your toes. As you exhale, bring your shoulders above your wrist and lift your knee to your nose. Step back, downward facing dog. Exhale, press hands into the block, shift shoulders above your wrist, left knee to nose. Inhale, step back. Exhale, lift right knee to nose. Inhale, step back. Exhale, left knee to nose. Inhale, step back. Exhale, right knee to nose. Press the hands into the floor. Protract the shoulders. Scoop the lower belly, bringing the knee closer to the nose. Flex your ankle and start to bring your foot up between the blocks. Sink a little deeper into your front hip crease. Twist your rib cage, hips towards the front of your mat. Stay on your back toes. Peel your belly off your thighs and reach your arms over your head, coming into crescent warrior. Back leg is super strong, so reach through the left heel and lift your thigh high. Start to gaze up towards the sky. And then exhale, fold, bring the hands on either side of your front foot to the blocks. Step back, downward facing dog. Come up onto your toes. Exhale, shift shoulders above your wrist, left knee to nose. Hold here. Push the blocks, push the hands into the blocks. So protract the shoulders. Scoop the lower belly, bringing the knee closer to the nose.
And moving slowly, step your left foot up between your hands. Sink deeper into your front hip crease, reaching your head and chest forward. Bring your inner thighs towards each other. Noticing that, take the left hip back and the right hip squaring towards the front of your mat. Firm the right thigh. Start to peel your belly off the thighs. As you inhale, reach your arms over your head, coming into Crescent Warrior. Start to gaze up with your eyes first. Lift your head. Exhale, hinge forward, hands to the blocks. Step back into downward facing dog. Inhale, come up onto your toes, look forward. Exhale, step one foot up at a time between the blocks, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up, sit back, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, hands beside your hips, Tadasana. Keeping the blocks where they are, move into Surya Namaskar B with the blocks. Inhale, reach up, sit back, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, hinge from your hips, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Keep your hands on the blocks. Step to the back of the mat into plank pose. Press down, twist out, protract, depress. Exhale, lower, Chaturanga. Come to the front of your feet. Press hands into the block. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Tuck your toes under. Press back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Turn your left heel down and in. Bring knee towards chest. Step right foot up between the blocks. Widen your stance if needed. Inhale, reach your arms over your head. Virabhadrasana 1. Draw the right hip crease back, rotating the rib cage towards the front of your mat. Lower ribs drawing down and in, gaze up. Reach back. Exhale, fold. Bring the hands to the blocks on either side of the front foot. Left toe tucks under, right foot steps back. Hinge forward, exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, scoop through, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, press back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Right heel turns down and in. Lift knee towards nose. Step the foot up between the hands. Sink a little deeper into the front hip crease. Back leg strong. Inhale, rise up, Virabhadrasana 1. Press the outer edge of your right foot down. Sink a little deeper into your front knee. Rotate ribs towards the front of your mat. Look up, reach back. Exhale, hinge forward. Hands to the blocks. Remove the blocks, hands to the floor. Tuck right toe under. Left foot steps back. Plank pose. Press down, twist out, protract, depress. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, scoop through, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, press back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Slow down the breath. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. Inhale fully. Exhale completely. Inhale, come up onto your toes, look forward. Exhale, step to the front of your mat, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up, sit back, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, straighten your legs, hands beside your hips, Tadasana. So putting all the things together. Staying aware of the strength, the stability created in the core with Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. The stability created in the shoulders, slight protraction and depression. Here we go. Inhale, reach up, sit back, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, hinge from your hips, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Hands plant, step to the back of the mat, plank pose. Press down, twist out. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower Chaturanga. Inhale, scoop through, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, press hips up and back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Turn your left heel down and in. Bring your right knee towards your nose. Step your foot up between your hands. Strong legs. Inhale, rise up. Virabhadrasana 1. Look up. Exhale, hands to the floor, either side of the front foot. Step back, plank pose. Lower all the way down, Chaturanga. Inhale, scoop through, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, press hips up and back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Right heel down and in. Step left foot up between your hands. Inhale, lift arms over your head. Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, hands plant. Step to the back of the mat as you lower Chaturanga. Inhale, scoop through, upward facing dog. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Breathe. Inhale, come up onto your toes, look forward. Exhale, step to the front of your mat, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up, sit back, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, hands beside the hips, Tadasana. Slow down your breath. Finding Ujjayi. Find where your inhalation and your exhalation are in equal length. Bring your hands to your hips. Shift your weight onto your left foot and bend your right knee forward. Bring your hand to your left hip and squeeze the glute muscle beneath your hand, feeling the strength of stability in your hip. Turn your right knee out to the side. And keeping your heel on your ankle is one choice. Bringing your foot to your calf is your second choice. Or grab the ankle with your right hand and bring your foot to your upper inner thigh. For Vrikshasana, tree pose. Hands to your hips. Notice if one hip is higher than the other and try to bring them into balance. Hip points drawing in and up, ribs drawing down and in. Continue to keep the left glute engaged. Hands in front of your chest, Anjali Mudra. Press foot into your thigh, thigh into your foot. Inhale, reach your arms over your head, Vrikshasana, tree pose. Notice as the arms go over your head if your ribs start to lift, and resist them down. Instead, lift the top of the chest. Release the hands beside your hips. Turn right knee forward and release. Outer edges of your feet parallel. Shift the weight into your right foot and bend the left knee forward. Right hand to your glute. Squeeze the muscle beneath your hand, make it strong. Turn the left knee out, keeping either the heel on the ankle, the calf, or grabbing the left ankle with the left hand and bringing it to your right inner thigh. Bring your hands to your chest, Anjali Mudra. Notice if one hip is higher than the other.
and work to balance that out. Press left foot to inner right thigh to left foot. Reach the tailbone towards the ground. At the same time, reach your head towards the sky as you reach arms over your head. Vrikshasana tree pose. Biceps towards your ears, reach the outer armpits, elevating the outer shoulder blades, keeping your lower ribs drawing down and in. Find your dristi or your gaze on a still point out in front of you. Bring your hands to your hips. Turn your left knee forward and release the foot to the ground. Separate your feet slightly wider than hip distance apart, toes pointing out. Inhale, reach your arms over your head. As you exhale, lower your hands in front of your heart as you lower your knees. And pause either with knees or hips at knee height, or you can lower down to sit on a block, or release the block and sit in Malasana. Press the knees into your elbows and your elbows into your knees. As you exhale, lift pelvic floor, Mula Bandha, drawing sit bones, pubic bone, tailbone towards each other. Uddiyana Bandha, scooping your lower belly towards your spine. Bring your hands behind your hips and lower your hips onto the floor. Bring your soles of your feet together. Reach the hands under the outer edges of your feet. Pull the toes up towards your chest as you extend through the crown of your head to find more spinal length. Inhale here. Bring your hands behind your hips. Shift back slightly. Bring your right heel towards your left hip. And bring your left foot either to the inside or, if possible, to the outside of your left knee. Bring your hands to the front of your knee. As you inhale, pull your knee in towards your chest and extend through the crown of your head to lengthen your spine. As you exhale, start to rotate your heart towards your left shoulder to twist. Bring your left hand behind your left hip onto fingertips and either hug your knee with your right elbow or bring the elbow to the outside of your left knee. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of your head. Exhale, rotate right ribs towards left ribs, turning your head over your left shoulder. Release back to center. Bring the soles of the feet coming back into Baddha Konasana. Pull up on the outer edges of your feet, lengthen through the crown of your head. As you exhale, fold forward, hinging from your hips. And take 3 deep breaths. Inhale, lift up. Go onto the outside of your knees, start to lift. Bring your left heel towards the outside of your right hip, bringing your right foot either to the inside or to the outside of your left knee. Clasp your hands in front of your shin. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of your spine, through the crown of your head, as you pull your knee towards your belly. As you exhale, start to rotate your left ribs towards your right ribs. Reach your right hand behind your hips, bringing your fingertips to the floor. Either hug your right knee with your left elbow or bring the elbow to the outside of your right knee. Inhale, extend through the crown of your head.
Exhale, rotate heart towards right shoulder. Gaze is over your right shoulder. Exhale, release forward. Take your legs out in front. Bring your toes towards your shins. Press the backs of your knees towards the floor. Hands on either side of your hips. Start to pitch your chest forward as you lift your hips and drag them back slightly. Reach chest towards toes. Inhale here. As you exhale, bring your hands to your shins and start to walk your hands towards your ankles, hinging from your hips, so pelvis rotating towards the fronts of your thighs. Toes continue to pull back, backs of the knees continue to press down. Inhale, reach chest towards toes. Exhale, hinge forward, grabbing either your shins, your ankles, or the outer edges of your feet. Paschimottanasana. And breathe. Bring your hands beside your knees. Press up. Keep your legs strong by pressing knees down and bringing toes towards shin. Bring your arms out in front and lowering down, navel to spine, Uddiyana Bandha, a bit of Mula Bandha. As you come down one vertebrae at a time, bend your knees, lift your hips, lengthen your lower back, drop your knees to the left, rotate head, heart to the right, arms, T to the body. And come back to center. Drop your knees to the right, turn your head and heart towards your left hand. And come back to center. Hug both knees towards your chest. As you exhale, lift your head towards your knees. One more deep breath. As you exhale, let everything go. Reach legs towards the front edge of your mat. Arms down beside your body. Shifting so that you feel an equal amount of weight on either side of your hips, your shoulder blades. Take a deep breath in, filling up your belly, your ribs, your chest, pausing at the top. And open mouth, exhale out. Again. One more time. Open your mouth halfway through, close. Keep the tone of Ujjayi in the back of your throat. Inhale for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 5,
Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue with Ujjayi, extending your exhalation to be longer than your inhalation for 3 more cycles. And return your breath into a natural state, softening the throat, the jaw, the tongue, the head. Remain in your Shavasana for as long as you care to remain, allowing the practice to be evident in your body, in your mind, noticing the softness in your breath, balance, the ease. And thank you for your time, your effort, your presence. The divine in me honors the divine in you. Namaste.